I love PvM, and even though most level 3 skillers focus a lot more on skilling, I haven't let it hold me back from PvM. Having Gomo's hilt on a level 3 is a really cool flex, but not everyone wants to pay for chambers boosts or sit around while you let other people PvM for you. Here's how to get your easy combat achievements on a level 3 skiller, plus some cool bosses you can fight. And let's start off with one of those cool bosses, Scurius. Scurius is actually a bit different from other things we're going to fight. Since it's a group boss, we don't actually need to deal the most damage to it. We just need to deal some damage. Scurius has relatively low defense, so you don't really need to lower it all that much, but you may choose to. At the very least, I would suggest grabbing a Tome of Water and casting Vulnerability on it. If you're choosing to lower its defense further, my general rule of thumb is Vulnerability, 4 Eldermaw specs, and 2 Arclight specs, but you can go with more or less depending on how long you want to wait for the enemy's health to restore, versus how many poison dynamite you want to use. It's important that while doing Scurius that you want to keep your health up, because his max melee hit is a 13, so you'll want Guthix Rest and some combo food. Clicking a pineapple pizza and the Guthix Rest will ensure you stay at 15 HP. You'll also need to dodge falling rocks as those can one-hit you. I take one account and bop Scurius with a Curse Goblin Hammer on it to try to get Scurius to focus on that account while I try to land the PD, but sometimes he's going to chase after the skiller. After you land the hit, teleport out of the room. You don't need to be there while the actual fight is going on. Then on your main, you pretty much just do a normal Scurius kill. The important part is that your skiller has to get back in the room as Scurius is dying. Try not to come in too early, or else you could get hit with magic or ranged attacks, and the minion rats can come after you. If you teleport out on the main account, leaving only the skiller in the room as Scurius dies, you can get MVP and a pet chance on the skiller. The timing of that can be a little tricky though, so if all you care about is the combat achievements, you don't have to bother. You get 1 CA point for killing Scurius once, and 2 points for killing him 10 times. Up next, we have a task for killing a fire giant, as well as killing all 3 different giants in the giant's cave. What we're going to do first is lose the aggro of the fire giant. Pull up the NPC aggression timers plugin and wait 10 minutes for all enemies within the box to become tolerant to you. Then we're going to use poison dynamite on it. As you can see, if the poison dynamite misses, the enemy doesn't register it as you attacking it, so it stays tolerant to you. And ideally we want to hit a 2 or higher because afterwards we're going to bring in our Venomolt to finish it off. We're going to be using the Venomolt a lot today. I have a guide on how to use Venomolts linked below, but essentially you want a Serp Helm, Toxic Staff of the Dead, a Cursed Amulet of Magic, and then you cast Snare. I'd also suggest having a Tome of Water to cast Vulnerability with beforehand to lower its defense for the skiller so you're more likely to land the poison dynamite hit. And that's pretty much all the fire giant takes. Moving on to the moss giant, you can use Vulnerability to get the moss giant to be aggroed on the main, and then if you stand right here, you can have a safe spot for the moss giant. Same deal, we hit a 2 or higher with the poison dynamite, then venom on the main. As for the hill giant, honestly you can do this one with just poison dynamite and recoils if you want. Its max hit is a 4, so you'll be fine. Bringing the Venomolt will speed up the kill, but if you ever need to kill a hill giant, maybe you're doing a medium clue for example, and you don't want to log into the alt, you'll be fine without. We get 1 point for killing a fire giant, and another one for killing all 3 giants. And while we're in the Catacombs of Current, we've got a few other tasks we can knock out of the way using the same poison dynamite and Venomolt strat. Killing a Hellhound gets you 1 point, and killing a Bloodveld gets you another. The Bloodveld requires 50 Slayer, but if you check out my What to Do and Avoid guide, it talks about quick and easy ways to get early Slayer XP. And don't worry, some of the Slayer requirements are going to be a tiny bit higher than that. Luckily, there's enough extra points laid out in this guide that you can choose to ignore tasks that you don't want to do or don't have the requirements to do. And then we're going to get another point for killing a Greater Demon in the same manner. There's another Greater Demon task, though, for finishing off a Greater Demon using a Demon Bane weapon, and it's actually a pretty cool trick. This is going to be a separate kill from the Greater Demon task, because we're not actually going to get kill credit for this one, just finishing it off. I'm out here in the wilderness and attacking the Greater Demon on my main, and specifically I'm attacking it with magic, because magic is delayed for when it calculates the damage you're going to do to the enemy and when the damage actually hits. So we wait until we see the hit that we're going to do is going to kill the enemy, and then we attack on the skiller with our Silver Light. You want to attack on the skiller when you see the XP appear on the main account. This is the basis for Wilderness Slayer, which I have a guide coming out for soon, or you can check out JCW's amazing guide on the topic. It's important to note that if you dyed your Silverlight black, you'll need to get a new one, as it no longer is considered a Demon Bane weapon at that point until you've progressed in Shadow of the Storm, which gives ranged XP. So the important thing is that we want to hit a 0, because we do still have the potential to do damage. You can wear a Berserker necklace and brew down to lower your chances of hitting, though you can absolutely skip this task and have enough point at the end of this all. But if you go through with it, landing this trick will get you another point. Next up is the Giant Mole. We get 1 point for killing it 10 times and 2 points for killing it 25 times, but I want to focus on 3 other tasks. First thing you do is kill the giant mole on your main account, so we're starting with a fresh mole that no one has possibly damaged or has damaged anyone else. Then throw out Protect from melee and bonk the mole with your Curse Goblin Hammer to drag her over here. Now we need to hit the mole with Poison Dynamite. If you hit a 1, kill the mole again on your main and start over. After you hit a 2 or more, you want to use a Venom ult to poison the mole, who turns venom into poison, and let the poison tick down. Once the poison is hitting once, you poison it again on another account, and you need to do that a total of 3 times. So you've got one ult holding the mole's aggro and venoming it, and 2 other ults or friends set up to help you poison the mole. Note, don't attack the mole with a Cursed Goblin Hammer like I am, or it'll burrow away and you'll have to drag it over again. The important thing is the skiller has to do more damage than any other account. So if you hit a 2, you need 3 other accounts to each hit a 1. But if you hit a 4 with the Poison Dynamite, you can just have one account venom the mole 3 times. This is going to get you hard hitter, why are you running, and avoiding those little arms for a combined 9 CA points, in addition to the 3 we got for killing the mole enough times. Next up, we're going to kill a black dragon, which is pretty straightforward. I killed mine in Taverley Dungeon, as it was the easiest one for me to get to. I waited out the aggro, used Poison Dynamite, and then hit up the ladder here while my main recoiled it. I also brought a Venge ult with me to make the kill a bit faster. Now, the reason I recoiled instead of Venom here is because black dragons heal at a very quick rate, and we want to get the damage done ASAP to make sure it doesn't heal to full. Theoretically, doing it with Venom is fine, but if you splash a few times, then it could be a problem, and when you consider how high the dragon's defense is, you'll want to have lowered it on your ult, and then you're waiting for its health to recover, and it's just likely going to be easier to recoil it down in my opinion. So this is fundamentally very simple. You have your Ring of Suffering and Echo Boots on, and you let the enemy damage you while you heal yourself. You can speed this up by casting Vengeance on yourself, or bringing an ult to help. Bonk it with a Curse Goblin Hammer to stay in combat with it, and you should be fine in a few moments. Another easy point. And naturally, after we fight the Black Dragon, we go on to the Brutal Black Dragon. This one is immune to Venom, so after we land the Poison Dynamite hit, we do need to recoil it down. It's basically the same. The hard part comes to actually getting to the Brutal Black Dragons. The shortcut to them is blocked off until you come at it from inside the Catacombs, which means we need to run through the Catacombs and up the ladder. For this, I used several ults to draw the aggro of the enemies along the path until I was able to make it to the ladder, and as you can see, I got very lucky and managed to tank 2 hits from the Brutal Black Dragons. This took me about 5 tries to do, and it'll be easier if you have a few friends to help you. But once you've made it through the Catacombs and out the shortcut, you can come back to the shortcut once you're geared up, climb down, and hide behind the ladder to lose aggro. Then you bring your main in, lower the Brutal Black Dragon's defense, land your Poison Dynamite hit, and you know the rest. When you're doing this, you may want to pray against the dragon's hits in general until you have Venge ready to go, as it'll hit you quite hard. Another option is to have more than one inventory of brews ready to go, either to be dropped over via an ult, or die with them and have them on the ground. That's 2 more CA points, though these ones do require 77 Slayer, which is a bit of a steeper requirement. But Skeletal Wyverns and Worms only require 72 and 62 Slayer respectively, and we're going to use the same strategy on them. Worms have a cool trick you can do, the same that I showed off in the Chaos Golem video. Since they have flat armor, you can lower their defense while still hitting a 0 on them, meaning you don't have to wait for their health to regen. Next we have the Crazy Archaeologist and the Deranged Archaeologist, which are essentially the same boss with the same combat achievements. We need to kill them 10 times, 25 times, and do a kill where no one gets hit by their special attack. Avoiding the special attack is slightly harder than it sounds, because if you would have been hit but tele away before the damage registers, it'll still fail the task, so make sure to stay aware and dodge those attacks. For the Deranged Archaeologist, you can just drag him over to this log here after you lower his defenses, and then hit the Poison Dynamite. and after that you just venom him with an alt and then let his health tick down. The crazy archaeologist is similar, but you're in the wilderness. Fun. There isn't as simple of a hiding spot, but there's a bunch of things to hide behind here, so you should be fine. When the archaeologists are locked onto one account, they shouldn't switch aggro to your skiller, but they might, so it's helpful to de-aggro the area before engaging in the kills. Also, before you do the one where you don't get hit by the special attack, you'll want to have killed them beforehand first, in case they had previously hit someone running by. Doing these 6 tasks will land you 12 points. And finally, we have Wintertodt and Tempoross. These ones are all pretty straightforward, though getting 10 reward permits from one Tempoross fight could be a little tricky on a skiller, so I'll show you how I do it. I bring my infernal harpoon and 5 buckets of water with me, arranged like this. This is so I can easily see how many fish I need to catch and cook. I start off by catching 8 fish, cooking them while waiting for the double spot to spawn. Catch more fish until your inventory fills up to this point. Cook them all. Don't get hit by the wave. Load the cannons. Put out the fire. At this point, Tempoross can't summon any more special attacks, and you can fish and cook freely. Now we fill up the inventory to this point and deposit them all. This will down Tempoross, plus in the next round it'll quickly go down to 4% again and be unable to use special attacks. So we skip attacking Tempoross directly in the first round. On the second round, after we down Tempoross, we fill our inventory with buckets, fill them with water, and then run to the other side to put out some fires. Come back and catch more fish. On the third round, we fill up our inventory all the way with cooked fish and load half into one cannon, half into the other. This is important because if you load them all into one cannon, it won't shoot fast enough. Now we attack, fill up our buckets while the storm rages, and finish off the kill. And that'll be more than enough points to get your easy combat achievements without raids boosting. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you found it helpful. Good luck with combat achievements, and I am very proud of you.